The NFL has never seen a risk quite like this. DeShaun Watson's fully guaranteed $230 million contract changed everything, but not in the way anyone expected. In 2022, the Cleveland Browns made one of the riskiest moves in NFL history by signing quarterback DeShaun Watson to a fully guaranteed 5-year, $230 million contract. This unprecedented deal shocked the league, as guaranteed money at this level was almost unheard of in the NFL. But Watson came to Cleveland carrying serious baggage, with over 20 accusations of sexual misconduct casting a shadow over his career. Despite his impressive on-field stats, including leading the league in passing yards in 2020, these allegations made many question the Browns' decision. Unlike typical NFL contracts that include clauses protecting teams from failure, Watson's deal was fully guaranteed, meaning he was assured his payout regardless of performance or circumstances. This bold bet by the Browns was a declaration to secure a franchise quarterback, despite all the uncertainties. The bold move by the Cleveland Browns. In 2022, the Cleveland Browns made one of the riskiest moves in NFL history by signing quarterback DeShaun Watson to a fully guaranteed 5-year, $230 million contract. This deal wasn't just unusual, it was unprecedented in a league where no contract is truly secure. The Browns threw out the usual clauses that would protect teams if things went wrong, instead opting for a bold, all-in moment to secure a potentially elite quarterback, allegations and all. This move sent shockwaves through the league, with every NFL franchise watching closely. The Browns weren't just signing a player, they were betting on a new way of doing business. One where guaranteed money at this level was more common in the NBA or MLB, but nearly unheard of in the NFL. Their gamble was a declaration, a high-stakes risk fueled by desperation to finally lock down a franchise quarterback. But the price tag was staggering. $230 million in fully guaranteed money, $80 million more than any previous richest guarantee in NFL history. With Watson sitting out the 2022 season and facing 22 civil lawsuits, the Browns front office was taking a monumental risk. The binding nature of the full guarantee meant Watson's payout was assured no matter what. This reshaped NFL contracts instantly, setting a new precedent that players might aspire to, but that teams would likely fear given the fallout to come. Watson's controversial background. Watson came to Cleveland carrying serious baggage, with over 20 accusations of sexual misconduct casting a shadow over his career. These allegations range from harassment to assault, putting his character and future in question. Despite his undeniable talent on the field, Watson's off-field controversies dominated headlines and changed the way teams viewed him. The Cleveland Browns knew the risks when they made the bold decision to sign him, but it wasn't just about talent anymore. It was a statement about second chances and the limits of what teams are willing to accept for the right player. Lawyers said Watson had settled most lawsuits, but a handful remained unresolved, keeping the legal cloud looming. Fans and critics debated endlessly whether the Browns should have taken such a gamble. His performance on the field had been impressive before, leading the league in passing yards in 2020, but off the field, the accusations created a backlash that overshadowed those stats. This controversy wasn't something that would simply fade away with a contract. It shaped the narrative around Watson and deeply affected his career trajectory, as well as the Browns' gamble on him. It forced the entire league to rethink how character issues intersect with talent and contracts. The Browns' move was unprecedented, but the fallout reminded everyone that no amount of guaranteed money could erase off-field complications. Ultimately, Watson's background became a defining part of his story, raising questions about accountability, reputation, and what teams are willing to risk for success. The contract's unprecedented guarantee. The deal that the Cleveland Browns struck with DeShaun Watson wasn't just a big contract. It was a seismic shift in how NFL contracts could be structured. Fully guaranteed money at this scale was virtually unheard of in football, where contracts typically come with clauses shielding teams from financial disaster if things go wrong. But Watson's contract threw all those usual protections out the window. The Browns guaranteed every last cent of that $230 million, no matter what happened. This was a bold statement from the franchise, signaling they were ready to bet everything on Watson's talent. Controversies included. Typically, NFL teams try to mitigate risks by including guarantees only for signing bonuses, offsets if players are cut early, or performance-based incentives. Not with this deal. The Browns prioritized securing a franchise quarterback so heavily, they were willing to carry huge financial risk. The full guarantee meant Watson's payout was locked in from day one, an assurance that players in the physically punishing and unpredictable NFL rarely get. It was a stark departure from the norm, a move inspired more by player contracts in the NBA or MLB than football. But this shift was double-edged. While it offered Watson unprecedented job security and financial certainty, it set Cleveland up for immense pressure and potential headaches if the gamble didn't pay off. Teams rarely commit to fully guaranteed contracts because the NFL's high injury rates and performance variability make big guarantees dangerous. With Watson, the Browns accepted those dangers head-on, redefining what is possible, but also what is perilous in NFL business. This contract, while groundbreaking, became a cautionary benchmark, reminding everyone why such deals remain rare and controversial in professional football. Watson's struggles and injury setbacks. After sitting out the entire 2022 season, DeShaun Watson's much-anticipated return to the Cleveland Browns was far from the triumphant comeback fans had hoped for. His performance on the field was a shadow of his former self, marked by noticeable rust and a lack of the sharpness that once defined his play. Watson seemed off balance, struggling to find his rhythm and command the offense with confidence. The physical toll of a high-impact sport and a long hiatus had clearly taken a toll. Then came the critical blow, a season-ending surgery on a broken bone in his throwing shoulder, the very shoulder that had nagged him earlier in the season. This injury wasn't just a setback. It was a stark reminder of the durability concerns surrounding Watson. With his health in question, the Browns were left scrambling to adjust their game plan. They brought in veteran quarterback Joe Flo as a last resort. And surprisingly, Flo managed to inject some much-needed stability and rhythm into the offense. Cleveland's struggles with Watson underscored the gamble the Browns had taken. A fully guaranteed contract of this magnitude hinged on his ability to perform and stay healthy, but the mounting injuries and inconsistent play made it difficult for the team to justify the hefty investment. This period exposed an uncomfortable truth. The harsh physical demands of the NFL don't wait for even the most talented players to heal and rebound swiftly. Watson's setbacks became a costly burden, one that continues to challenge Cleveland's efforts to move forward, as they remain financially tied to a quarterback whose peak performance now seems uncertain. Backup quarterback Flo steps up. When DeShaun Watson's shoulder injury worsened, the Cleveland Browns found themselves at a critical crossroads. Enter Joe Flo, a seasoned quarterback who was pulled in as the last resort. Despite being a backup option, Flo's impact on the team was unexpectedly solid and became a beacon of hope for the Browns. In a season where Cleveland's offense had struggled to find its rhythm, Flo brought a new sense of stability and leadership. His experience and field vision allowed him to read defenses better and make smarter decisions on the fly. Fans who had previously been frustrated with Watson's inconsistent performances suddenly found themselves rallying behind Flo's steady gameplay. Under Flo's guidance, the Browns managed to string together crucial wins, transforming a team burdened with uncertainty into a playoff contender. His ability to connect with receivers and manage the clock efficiently gave the offense a much-needed boost. This unexpected revival prompted questions about Watson's future with the Browns and whether his massive contract was justified given current on-field results. Yet, despite Flo's success, the financial realities of Watson's fully guaranteed $230 million contract kept the spotlight firmly on the sideline quarterback. The Browns had to balance on-field performance with the off-field financial constraints, making Flo's rise even more significant in the unfolding story of Cleveland's season. The backup quarterback wasn't just filling in. He was reshaping the Browns' narrative in a season filled with challenges and what-ifs. The financial and strategic bind for Cleveland. Despite Joe Flacco's surprising success, the Browns remain financially tethered to Watson's colossal contract. Cutting or trading him is nearly impossible because of the guaranteed money and a no-trade clause, leaving Cleveland trapped in a costly situation that limits their flexibility. Watson's deal, with $230 million fully guaranteed, is an anchor the Browns can't easily lift. Any attempt to cut him would result in massive dead money charges, a financial disaster that would cripple the team's budget. Even if Watson agreed to leave, the Browns would still need to find a trade partner willing to inherit one of the biggest guaranteed deals in league history, for a quarterback whose recent performance and injury history has been a shadow of his former self. This contract structure effectively paralyzes Cleveland's ability to manage their roster and salary cap. Other NFL teams watch closely, seeing the Browns' predicament as a warning. It's a glaring example of how a fully guaranteed deal can become a liability when things go wrong. Cleveland's situation is a constant reminder to NFL decision-makers about the dangers of betting on certainty in a league where none really exist. The Browns are caught in a bind, financially and strategically. The guaranteed payout makes Watson's contract immovable, forcing the franchise to carefully navigate each season with limited options. This financial and strategic bind highlights why guaranteed contracts like Watson's remain an anomaly in the NFL, as the risks often outweigh the rewards for teams. Impact on the NFL and future contracts. Watson's contract initially signaled a breakthrough for players, especially quarterbacks, who sought more job security in a physically punishing league, but after Watson's struggles, the league shifted its stance. No other player has since leveraged a similar fully guaranteed deal. Lamar Jackson pushed hard for one in 2023, only to settle for a more traditional contract structure. Watson's deal set a precedent, making high guarantees possible, but his on-field performance created hesitation among teams, showing just how risky such investments can be. The perfect paradox emerged. While the contract moved the needle on what was financially achievable, it also became a warning about the dangers of betting on certainty in a league defined by unpredictability. NFL owners have learned that fully guaranteed contracts can be assets when things go well, but they become immovable liabilities when they don't. Watson's situation exposed this vulnerability, causing franchises to approach future contracts with greater caution. As a result, the NFL has seen a lean toward contracts with protections that give teams flexibility, balancing player security with organizational risk management. This shift is a direct consequence of the Browns' gamble on Watson, which showed the league that the stakes are simply too high for unprotected commitments. Ultimately, Watson's contract has altered the negotiation landscape, steering the NFL away from full guarantees and back toward conditional structures, underscoring the harsh realities of professional football's business side. The legacy of Watson's contract. DeShaun Watson's contract stands as one of the most controversial and defining agreements in NFL history, a bold move that sent shockwaves through the league. When the Cleveland Browns guaranteed $230 million over 5 years for a single player, it wasn't just a statement about money. It was a statement about trust, risk, and the changing nature of how franchises view player security. This unprecedented deal forced every owner and front office to reconsider the risks tied to fully guaranteed contracts in a league where player performance and health are never certain. Watson arrived in Cleveland with talent that once made him a top 5 quarterback, but also a mountain of off-field controversy that many believed would overshadow his career. Despite initial hopes, Watson's performance on the field failed to justify such a massive financial commitment. Injuries and inconsistent play plagued his tenure, leaving the Browns locked into a contract that became a financial anchor, limiting their flexibility and options. More than a financial burden, Watson's deal became a cautionary tale about betting on certainty in the unpredictable world of professional football. While players seek security in a physically punishing sport, owners are reminded that guarantees can quickly turn into liabilities. This contract effectively marked the end of the fully guaranteed mega deals in the NFL, as no other franchise has since dared to replicate such an agreement. Watson's legacy, therefore, isn't about changing the game for players' financial security, but rather highlighting the delicate balance franchises must maintain between ambition and caution. It stands as a powerful reminder that in football, no contract, no matter how large, is ever truly safe. As the Browns continue to manage the fallout, the NFL has taken a clear message from Watson's contract. Big risks can lead to big regrets, reshaping the business of football contracts for years to come. DeShaun Watson's contract was supposed to be a game changer, a new frontier for NFL player security, but it ended up as a cautionary tale instead. The fully guaranteed $230 million deal was unprecedented, and the Browns took a monumental risk that few teams would dare to attempt. When you consider Watson's off-field controversies, injuries, and declining performance, it becomes clear that this gamble didn't pay off as expected. The contract has effectively tied Cleveland's hands financially, limiting their roster flexibility and placing them in what feels like NFL purgatory. It's a stark reminder that in professional football, certainty is rare, and teams must navigate financial decisions with that reality in mind. Other players like Lamar Jackson have since sought similar guarantees, but none have matched Watson's contract terms, largely because teams have learned from Cleveland's experience. Watson's contract has set a precedent, but also slammed the door on fully guaranteed deals becoming a league-wide norm. The Browns' bold move may have momentarily pushed the boundaries of what's possible, but it also demonstrated the risks and consequences of betting too heavily on certainty in an unpredictable sport. For NFL franchises and fans alike, this saga highlights the fine line between ambition and caution. Ultimately, Watson's contract is a legacy not for changing the game, but for showing why some doors should remain closed.